Valuation of specialized properties. Specialized properties describe properties that are designed and used to perform special services or functions, with no prospect of market comparison upon which valuation could be based. Such properties have strong monopolistic elements, and many include certain income-yielding properties with unique characteristics which are not typical of conventional income-yielding properties. The list of specialized properties include fire stations, schools, churches, stadia, town halls, police station, hotels, motels, cinemas, petrol filling stations, public houses, police and military hospitals, museums, arts theaters, etc. Others are oil refineries and chemical works, power stations and other properties, excluding residential and commercial properties. Located in particular areas for special reasons. Of such size and design that would make it impossible to arrive at a market-based value, or value based of comparable market transactions. Specialized properties are rarely sold or exchanged in the market and tend to enjoy a nearly absolute monopoly. Purposes of valuation of specialized properties. A. Fixed assets valuation, of land, buildings, plant, machinery, and equipment, for financial purposes, investment, and security purposes. B. Insurance. C. Sale. D. Compulsory purchase. The most realistic approach to ascertain the value of specialized properties to the owner is by considering the loss which would be suffered if that owner were deprived of the property, known as deprival value. Such deprival value approach would be based on DRC. The DRC basis is also applicable in the case of income producing specialized properties, such as hotels, particularly if there is lack of adequate and reliable record of accounts. Specialized properties I. Oil refineries, power stations, chemical works, etc. Specialized properties, such as oil refineries, power stations, chemical works, etc. can be valued on DRC basis. The appropriate method relies on cost. 1. For land, buildings, and structures, LBS. LBS as part of an established industrial business concern are rarely valued by reference to comparable because no market exists for such a property. Such properties are valued on the basis of depreciated replacement cost, DRC, i.e. current costs of acquiring the site and erecting the premises less an appropriate deduction for their present conditions. The technique of assessment are as follows. Land, estimated or cost of acquiring site together with all incidental costs. Buildings and structures, estimated current cost of reproducing or replacing the existing buildings, structures, and external works. Depreciation, the estimated accrued loss in value on account of physical deterioration, H, functional and economic obsolescence. Deduction of accrued depreciation estimate from current reproduction or replacement costs to arrive at an indicated value. The addition of the land value to the indicated value. 2. For plant, machinery, and equipment, PME. PMEs also are valued by the cost method using the DRC basis, except the PMEs which are out of use, surplus to the business or obsolete. DRC is the depreciate gross current replacement cost in order to reflect the value attributable to the remaining useful economic working life of each of the PMEs, taking due account of wear and tear, age and obsolescence, scarcity value and other relevant factors. Including residual value at the end of the asset's useful life. Derry, 1991, Brown, 1991. The replacement cost, gross value, of an item of the PME is the current cost to replace that asset with a new asset of identical or broadly similar specification, capable of providing the same output or service potential, the machine fully installed and operational, i.e. including transportation and foundation, consultants' fees, and commissioning costs. Elements of betterment in efficiency are adjusted for. The value in use of the PME is assessed by depreciating the replacement cost, taking account of physical, economic, functional, and technological obsolescence that generally include the following: I. Age. 2. Anticipated total economic life. 3. Condition. 4. Reconditioning and refurbishment. V. Replacement parts. 7. Residual value at the end of the period. 9. Incompatibility of individual PME. X. Poor plant layout. 11. Poor location of communications. 13. Poor condition of buildings housing the PME. 13. Finite raw materials supply. 14. Finite market. 15. Product obsolescence. 16. Legislation and bylaws. 17. The tenure of the land and buildings. 18. Technical skills of operators. 19. Suitability of the PME for the use to which they are put, and XX. Strength of PME components. The procedure is as follows. Estimate the replacement cost of each item of plant, machinery, and equipment by reference to landed cost, factory, plus cost of installation. Landed cost, factory, equals CIF plus import duty plus surcharge on duty plus agent's commission plus transportation to factory plus installation equals replacement cost. CIF, cost, insurance, and freight, plus F.O.B plus insurance and freight. F.O.B, free on board, equals F.A.S plus loading charges. F.A.S, free alongside ship, equals X showroom price plus transportation to port. Deduct therefrom, depreciation allowance considering determinants. I, XX, above. The balance is the indicated value in use of each item of PMEs. 3. For furniture and fittings, motor vehicles, etc. The depreciation rate applied to their replacement costs is guided principally by observations made during the course of survey and inspection. Where a viable market exists for second-hand items, such as motor vehicles, the DRC could be related to the prices of similar second-hand items in similar conditions to establish their market values. Specialized properties 2, schools, churches, museums, mosques. As noted earlier, specialized properties enjoy a considerable degree of monopoly by being rarely sold in the marketplace. Others in addition enjoy factual and legal monopolies and as such, have to be licensed for operation. Examples of licensed premised are hotels, cinema houses, theaters, clubhouse, petrol filling stations, schools, churches, mosques, etc. Licensed premises such as schools, churches, museums, town halls, and mosques can be valued by adopting the contractor's method, for which the following steps is to be followed. A. Land. Current market value of land obtained by comparison with other similar sites, or cost of acquiring land together with legal, agency, advertisement, LAA, finance costs on land acquisition for an estimated development period. B. Building and structures. I. Estimate the gross floor area. Gross external area. 2. Apply the unit rate of construction. 3. X. 2. Above equals the cost of construction or replacement. 4. Add cost of external works, drains, parks, hard, standing, fence, service quarters, generator room, gatehouse, etc. V. Add professional fees and developer's profit. 6. Compute and add finance costs on buildings, structures, external works, and professional fees for half the building period, 1/2, 1 plus I, n-1 x bc up to, v, above. 7. 6, above equal the total building cost, TBC. 8. From, 7, above I.ETBC, less for depreciation on account of age and obsolescence. 9. The result is known as DRC. Specialized properties. 3. Hotels, cinemas, petrol filling stations, clubhouses, theaters, etc. Licensed premises such as hotels, cinema houses, theaters, caravan site, clubhouses, petrol filling stations can be valued by adopting the profit/accounts method. A valuation by the cost method may be used as a check only. The profit/accounts method. When comparable rental transactions are either not reliable or not available, it may be necessary to adopt a profits method of valuation based on the audited accounts of a business. The rationale for the approach is based on the economic theory that the rental value of a property is a function of its earning capacity, productivity, and profitability. Let us note that comparable may not normally be available when a property enjoys an element of monopoly, factual, or legal. Factual monopoly exists where little or no competition exists, and legal monopoly, where a business can only operate with a license and where perhaps only one license is issued for a large area. A model of the profits method is as follows. A. Gross earnings, turnover. I. Potential gross takings from sale of rooms. 2. Add sale of sundry items at A% of A, above, less. 3. Allowance for % occupancy. B. Gross profit. Estimated gross earnings, turnover, and 220,000. I plus 2, 3, above, less. Purchase of goods and 12,000. Cost of sales. Gross profit n 100,000. Less. Working expenses n 70,000. Excluding any rent or loan interest. Payment on the property. C. Divisible balance n 30,000. Less. D. Tenant's share. Interest on capital n 5,000. 10. Tenants remuneration and 15,000 and 20,000. Surplus available as rent. Payable to the landlord, and 10,000 p.a. This rental can then be capitalized to arrive at an opinion of market value, MV. A. Estimated gross earnings, turnover. Potential gross takings from sale of rooms plus sale of sundry items, allowance for occupancy equals estimated gross earnings. B. Gross profit. The valuer will examine the set of accounts produced before the date of valuation together with the preceding 2-3 YRS accounts and determine the level of profit that can reasonably be expected in the future. Often, the actual accounts may not always be a good indicator of the earning capacity of the property. The valuer is to determine the profits which a tenant of reasonable competence could make from occupation of the property. Estimated gross earnings, turnover, cost of sales, purchases, equals gross profit. C. Working expenses. These include wages and insurance, lighting, telephone, cleaning, advertising, printing, postage and stationery, insurance, depreciation of fixtures, fittings and equipment. As the final balance is to represent the surplus available as rental value for the property, any rent that is actually paid, or loan interest payment on property, that is, actually paid, is not deducted as a working expense. D. Tenant's share. The deduction for tenant's share represent interest on the tenant's own capital tied up in the business, that is, capital for the purchase of the fixtures and fittings, equipment, furnishings, stock, cash, etc. And remuneration for the tenant's time and effort in running the business. The term tenant may be the owner-occupier. E. Rent as a surplus. The profits method of valuation illustrate that the rental value of all lands and property is derived from earning capacity or productivity, and the valuer calculates rental value from the viewpoint of what a potential occupier of the property would offer based on his potential surplus earnings of the proposed business. F. Capitalization. A direct market-derived YP is used to capitation the rent. Notes. In relation to hotels, recent trend, according to Baha, British Associating of Hotel Accountants, is that hotels be valued by reference to their recent/current performance and future trading potential. This is achieved by the income capitalization approach, which seeks to assess value by reference to projected net cash flows. It requires the application of capitalization factor. This approach, DCF, has been criticized as inappropriate for assessing market value. Advanced readings on the DCF approach hotel valuation will be dealt with at a higher level. The value of hotel is enhanced principally by the quality of services and facilities it offers, influencing the choice of rate. Petrol filling stations. In respect of petrol filling stations, the valuation using the profits or accounts method is to be done. Special modifications. Steps in the valuation process. A. Calculate the rent attributable to the forecourt from profit made from sales. B. Calculate the rent attributable to all other parts or areas of the service station, remainder. C. Add A and B above equals tied rent. D. calculate the special addition to be added to the tied rent by the use of Sedgwick formula. E. Allow for outgoings, and then capitalize the rent. By Sedgwick formula, S equals F2 F plus R, where F equals forecourt, R equals remainder, S equals value element. True gross rental value equals tied rent plus annual special value element. A plus B plus C. Determination of rents in PFS parts. A. Forecourt. The rent of the forecourt depends on the sale profit made on the forecourt. A percentage of between 7%, 20% of the gross profit may be taken. The choice of percent may vary according to quantum of profit made. Prevailing supply conditions, e.g. fuel scarcity times, warrants the use of lower percent and probability of continuance for a long period is low. B. Remainder areas. I. Workshop, rent equivalent to that of light factory building. 2. Lube bay, rent equivalent to that of light factory building. 3. Car wash bay, rate at approximately 50% of lube bay rent. 4. Car showroom, as good as first-class area rent. Actual rent will depend on location, finishing, security, etc. 4. Open space, about 50% of the showroom. Open space in PFS includes parking bay. V. Store, rent between 33 1/3-50% of that of office. 6. Shops, apply having back method except each shop is bounded or fronted by major room for while equal rate is used. Practice question. Value and Friday leasehold garage with filling station having an unexpired term of 70 years on a main road on the outskirts of Lagos with petrol sale in the previous year of 3 million liters, which has been rising at about 10% a year. There are the following buildings with ancillaries. Motor car showroom in 2 zones A and B. Zone A equals 40 square meters. Zone B equals 20 square meters, sales room equals 20 square meters, workshops equals 80 square meters, stores equals 20 square meters, lube bay equals 20 square meters, office equals 15 square meters. A. The leaseholder pays a ground rent of N20,000 PA. All measurements are net lettable floor spaces and unit rental rates range from N20/M2 to N700/M2. Valuation. Analysis of petrol sale profit, forecourt. Type of petrol volume rate, gross profit, total profit. P. A per liter, gross PA. Super 1,500,000 6K 90,000. Ordinary 900,000 5K 45,000. Diesel 400,000 3K 12,000. Kerosene 250,000 2K 5,000. Total 3,050,000 N152,000. Total sale, liters, 3,050,000. Total gross profit N152,000. Total gross profit N152,000. Allow 18% of gross profit. As forecourt, 18/100 x 152,000 equals N27,360. A. Estimated tied rent. Forecourt. N27,360. Motor car showroom. Zone A, 40 square meters at say, and 700/m2. And 28,000. Zone B, 20 square meters at say, and 400/m2. And 8,000. Sales room. 20 square meters at N 600/m2, and 12,000. Workshop. 80 square meters at N 60/m2, and 4,800. Store. 20 square meters at N 300/m2, and 6,000. Lube bay. 60 square meters at N 20/m2, and 1,200. Offices. 15 square meters at N 600/m2, and 9,000. And 69,800. Total tied rent N 97,160. B. Estimating open market rental value. Tied rent N 97,160. Add special value element. S equals F2. F plus R equals 27,360, 2. And 27,360 plus 69,800. And 7,704. Gross rental value N 104,864. Less ground rent 20,000. Profit rent N 84,864. Less outgoings at say 20% N 16,973. Net profit rent N 67,891. YP perp at 11% 9.11. CV of the petrol station N 617,508. Say, N 618,000. Notes. A high remunerative rate is used to reflect the insecurity of the net profit rent. Firstly, it cannot be easily let should the owner or operator wish to do so. As an alternative to the YP perp used to capitalize the net profit rent, a single rate YP for 70 years at 11% or a dual rate YP 70 years at 11%/3% might be used. The unexpired length of lease, 70 years, makes it as good as a freehold interest. If the unexpired term were short, say 60 years, a dual rate YP must be used.
Thank you.